Bitcoin surpassing $10,000 this week, highest price since September 2019, and the cryptocurrency is up more than 40% so far this year. Joining us for more on this and other market tidbits is the closer today, Michael Novogratz, founder, CEO, and chairman of Galaxy Digital, which invests in cryptocurrencies. Good to see you.
How you doing?
What's driving Bitcoin right now?
You know, liquidity. We've got global rates low, people pumping in money. You look at China and you kind of just do an aerial view, nothing's moving in China, which means the government's getting ready for 2 barrels of liquidity. And so it's driving stocks, it's driving crypto, it's driving gold.
So if liquidity is the driver of Bitcoin, why hasn't it just been kind of going up for the last, 11 years every time the Fed goes easy or cuts rates?
So Bitcoin's 11 years old. It's found a lane as digital gold. You don't become digital gold right away, right? And so there's a story of slow adoption. Just last December, ICE, has a group called BACK, part of the New York Stock Exchange, and they said we're going to do crypto custody for the first time. Fidelity did the same thing. And so all of a sudden there's a safe place for people to store their Bitcoin in the perception of the 50 to 80-year-olds who have all the wealth in America. And so we're seeing more and more plumbing built to allow people to feel comfortable buying this.
Is it actually safe, though?
It is safe. Listen.
We've seen hacks, we've seen price swings, all sorts of stuff that would make an investor nervous.
And so, remember, you got to put it in perspective. Bitcoin is probably the best new brand of the last 11 years. $200 billion market cap for a line of code that came out 11 years ago. Right? It's a social construct. It's nothing technical. We could have taken that same line of code, call it Sarah coin, and who knows what it would be worth. But because people have believed it's now a store of value, similar to gold. Gold's got 3,000 years and 10 trillion. Bitcoin's got 11 years and 200 billion.
Yeah. Certainly, we hear these comparisons, this idea that it's a safe haven, that it's digital gold, and I'm hearing you talk about the fact that it's found that it's lane. What about all the other different types of cryptocurrencies that are out there as well, including maybe some of the ones we haven't even seen yet that could be asset-backed by things like gold? I think,
listen, we are going to see, the one thing that we learned last year with the announcement of Libra is cryptocurrencies, stable coins, blockchain systems are going to be part of the economic infrastructure of this world and the consumer infrastructure of this world. Most of those are longer-term bets, right? Within 3 to 5 years, I'm guessing we're going to have a Chinese crypto, a Japanese crypto, and a U.S. crypto.
That's exactly where I was just about to go with you. Because you do have the Chinese working on their digital currencies. You've got comments from Japanese lawmakers saying that they want to see this brought up in G7 discussions this year. You've got possibilities coming out of India as well. I wonder if you think the U.S. is falling behind on this.
The U.S. is falling behind a little bit, but listen, the bulk of the technology is still being developed here. The regulators have been slow, completely slow. And I think Libra kind of was a kick in the stomach to say, hey, we need to take this seriously and figure things out. The single biggest concern with U.S. regulators is money laundering, KYC, AML, North Korean financing. And so we're going to see something from Treasury in the next few months that kind of put some guardrails around Bitcoin. I think that's a positive. I think this as a weapon in macro portfolios is actually happening now. I used to do meetings and have to convince people how Bitcoin worked and whatnot. Now I talk about this as a weapon in their macro portfolio, as a hedge against inflation, as a hedge against easy monetary policy and debasement of fiat currency.
No, the dollar's been going up. The dollar index is like 99. It's had a pretty steady run here. Usually you would think the two are inversely
But remember, gold's been going up too. And if you look at the way gold trades that it smells something wrong. Like this, maybe you believe in modern monetary theory. These guys seem to.
They're not clapping for you.
I wish they were clapping for me.
They're celebrating.
But some people believe in modern monetary theory, and we can print 5% budget deficits forever. Gold market tells you not everyone believes in it, because you would think with stocks at an all-time high, gold shouldn't be trading as well as it does. And so Bitcoin is a version of that. It's just on steroids because it's an early adoption.
even if there are the use cases, you don't have to explain it anymore. At $200 billion, is it still not okay for people to kind of say, I don't really have to pay that much attention to it? I mean, if you're an institutional money manager or a wealthy individual.
Yeah, so what's interesting is, yes, you
can just let it do what it's going to do.
You can miss Tesla, and Tesla went from 40 billion to 160 billion. You can miss Bitcoin as it goes from 200 billion to $1 trillion. Right? Gold's $9 trillion. The biggest stocks are $1 trillion. Gold's $9 trillion. We could take all the gold that's ever been mined in the history of the world and fit it into a cube from that flag to here. Like, that's a pretty expensive sculpture. And so store of value is an interesting concept because we don't have many.
Yeah.
We're showing your tweet here, Bitcoin versus Tesla. Well, Bitcoin 2017, what was that? Was that a bubble time for Bitcoin?
Bitcoin 2017 was a bubble.
Yeah.
It happened around a really powerful story. It happened very quick, and there was a frenzy of buying. Tesla seemed to be similar this year. Like, Tesla's a great story. I have 2 Teslas. They're awesome cars. But
is it a bubble?
This combination of liquidity and height, I think all stocks are going to fly this year. We're going to see. I was thinking back to like both 1999 and then 1989 with the Japanese market. Like, when you really get to the end of bull markets, multiples go insane. And these story stocks are really going to go insane. I think we had that in Tesla. We had monster volume spikes 2 days in a row. And my guess is that was the high, at least for a while. We should trade lower over time because you could go online and say, the #1 search thing on Google was, should I buy Tesla? Like, that's in general a pretty bad sign.
So you're not an investor in Tesla, I take it?
Right now, I'm not long Tesla.
But what happened with Bitcoin was, even when it kind of crashed down, it's been slowly climbing back up.
So what happened, Bitcoin crashed up, and back then every coin was seen as the next Bitcoin. Floyd Mayweather had a coin, and Dogecoin was the next Bitcoin, and Litecoin was the poor man's Bitcoin. And so when you have a supply response like that, and the regulators got nervous, you had a 97% collapse. Coming out of the ashes, Bitcoin has really developed its own lane as store of value, where these other cryptos, Ethereum or EOS, there are probably 25 other really credible cryptos. They're trying to build the blockchain of the future, a decentralized trust layer. That's more to 3 to 5 year bet. I'm surprised at how well they've done this year. They've actually outperformed Bitcoin, which tells you how much activity is in the space.
I want to go back to something you just said about this idea that stocks are going higher, the fact that we're a late bull market, what that means for valuations. What do you think changes that narrative? What do you think ends this cycle right now? Does something like coronavirus really concern you?
No. Listen, it certainly concerns me if I get sick, and there's lots of people suffering, so of course it concerns me. Assuming that the experts are right and at one point it peters out. Great bull markets end one of 2 ways, with spectacular explosions. I remember being in Hong Kong for 1997, the handover. There were fireworks and champagne, and the market went straight up and then crashed. So with parabolic moves higher, or Fed action. And so the Fed's very dovish right now. We're going to need to see an inflation spike to get the Fed going. They're certainly not going to go in an election year. Trump has them scared of their own shadow to be political or not political. And so this is like early 1999. We've got a perfect setup for a late 1999 rally.
So you're bullish on stocks?
Bullish on stocks, bullish on European stocks. If Japanese stocks take out 24,000, you're going to see them at 28, 29, 30,000 real soon.
All because of monetary stimulus?
All because of monetary stimulus.
You think there's enough left in the tank?
Well, listen, I think the Chinese are about to pull 2 giant bazookas out and stimulate the heck out of the second largest economy in the world. That's going to be good for Chinese stocks at one point, but that stimulus always finds its way around the world. So oil prices end up coming back up, and all of a sudden you get another surge of growth.
Where does it take Bitcoin? We got to make a headline here.
We got to make a headline.
Novogratz says Bitcoin goes to...
Right now, Bitcoin feels a little frenzied, and we could see it surge up. But I think by the end of the year, we certainly take out the old highs. Or at least we go to the old highs. That's 20,000. We might be there literally by the halvening, which is in a couple months.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Michael Novogratz.
Yes, thank you.